Health Radio. Health Radio. It's all about sound health information with no appointment needed. Health Radio. Choose for Health. The chewable dietary supplement presents To Your Good Health, hosted by Dr. David Friedman and Melanie Cole.
Hi, and welcome to the show. Glad you could join us on To Your Good Health today with Dr. David Friedman. Dr. Friedman has a lifetime hit morning TV show, The Balancing Act, and he's the creator of the world's first full-spectrum superfruit, sea vegetable, and antioxidant chewable vitamins. I love them. They taste great. They're all natural, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about them. Hi, Dr. Friedman.
Hello, hello.
So when I think of synthetic nutrients, and then I think of Choose for Health. These are all natural. Tell us about some of the ingredients in the Choose for Health vitamins.
Well, let's see. First one is would be the sea vegetables, and that's basically one of the ingredients. There's Choose for Health stands for 4. There's 4 complexes. So there's 4 sea vegetables, 4 antioxidants, there's 4 superfruits, and 4 fruit concentrates. But sea vegetables, that's one of my favorites in there. They're considered superior to land-grown vegetables, and here's why. They don't contain genetic modifications. They don't have those chemicals frequently used in farming on land. The 4 in the product is kelp, nori, bladderwrack, and dulse. And they contain naturally, as you talked about, naturally occurring minerals, vitamins such as D, phytonutrients, and more than 70 whole food trace minerals. They nourish, strengthen, and revitalize the body. And this is interesting because I'll share with you, when you're dealing with nutrients that you buy, let's say, from the drugstore, okay, those are created by man in a laboratory, by rocks, by shells. When you're taking nutrients from the sea, our body closely resembles ocean water. So when we take nutrients from the sea, our cells recognize them, and in they go. When we cry, what type of salt do we have when we cry, Melanie?
Salt water.
Yeah. That's because we have the same exact proportions and chemicals as we do as ocean water. So if you were to take the fluid out of your body and put it into a fish tank, it would sustain sea life. So it just makes sense. Sea vegetables have what we're made out of. It absorbs, so that's one of the ingredients. And then another one is basically the superfruits, which are excellent. Superfruits are considered by nutrients as probably the best nutritional sources in the world. We have goji, noni, mangosteen, and acai berry. And the acai berry you've been hearing a lot about because that's getting a lot of press on Oprah Winfrey. And forget all the science I can throw at you, like Harvard, Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic. Oprah's the queen, so if she says it's good, you need to check it out. Dr. Perricone, Dr. Oz, all recommend it. Goji's really good with a fella named the cellulite solution. His name is Dr. Howard Murad, talking about how it helps benefit the skin, and it's been linked to really powerful anti-aging properties. Of course, we all don't want to age, and that's a real anti-aging. Noni means longevity. It's been used for thousands of years. And mangosteen, really high in antioxidants, which we need, and it's known as the queen of the fruits because Queen Victoria tasted it and said, "I love this stuff. It's my favorite fruit."
That's so cool, and I'm so glad because, for me to go out and buy all of these different super fruits, Dr. Friedman, especially for my kids, to go buy goji, and, they're so expensive, and you've put them all into a really reasonably priced chew for us, and so we're getting them all.
Yes.
And that's the greatest thing. Tell people, we haven't even told them where they can find these.
To get information or order, you can go to orderchoose.com. That's order and then CHEWS.com.
Orderchoose.com, and that is definitely the way to get them. And these chews, they're like real food, aren't they? They rot if you leave them out.
Yeah, and that's what's interesting. If you get one of your synthetic vitamins, and that's what I call them, those are the daily vitamins you take, and do an experiment. Just let them sit out for 6, 7, 8 hours, and they won't change colors. You leave them sit out for 2 or 3 days, they won't change colors. But if you let Choose for Health sit out, it's going to change color, it's going to oxidize, it's going to rot. Why would that happen? Similar to if you left a fresh apple slice out. That's natural. Those are enzymes that are live, and the oxygen in the air will destroy them because of the free radicals. That doesn't take place when you're dealing with these synthetic vitamins.
Now, so Dr. Friedman, I want to ask you, when we think of the synthetic vitamins, our bodies don't even really recognize all these synthetic things, these made-up chemicals, do they? So our bodies don't even recognize them. What do they do with them?
Well, they can actually lead to many diseases. They can lead to sickness. They can lead to a lower immune system. It's unbelievable what these synthetic nutrients. They also create imbalances in the body. But let me tell you why. Let's look at the most popular nutrient in this country. It's called vitamin C. Do you take vitamin C, Melanie, or have you ever?
Well, I have. I don't now after talking with you, but
I have too. I got to admit, I was trained as a nutritionist, and that's what we were taught. The PhDs, which I call them the pile high deep guys, and then the people with the BS in nutrition, I call them the big stacks. They told me to take vitamin C and recommend it to patients. Well, research from the Mount Sinai School of Medicine shows vitamin C can damage your DNA, and let me tell you why. This is called vitamin C, but it's really ascorbic acid, which is made from synthetic toxic chemicals created in a lab. So it was real interesting. When that study came out, I was so excited because I happen to have a patient who's a PhD chemist from Takeda ascorbic acid plant, which happened to be 20 minutes from my office. He's the man who makes this stuff. So he came in. I said, "Aha, Mr. Vitamin C maker, what do you think of this Mount Sinai School of Medicine study showing that what you're making is destroying people's genes?" Never forget what he said to me. He said, "It doesn't surprise me." He said, "If you knew the chemicals we use to create vitamin C, you would understand how it can damage cells." He said, "I wouldn't take the stuff." I said, "You create it. You wouldn't touch it?" He goes, "No." I said, "What chemicals do they use?" And what he told me, I'll never forget. I got my pen out, and I started writing what he told me. They start with something called sorbitol. Then they add little bugs to it, and they eat it, and they vomit, and it turns into sorbose. Then they add acetone to it as a buffer. That's the same stuff, ladies out there, that you're using in your nail polish remover.
That's what we use to take our nail polish off.
And that's what you use to grade vitamin C. Perchloric acid is a catalyst. That's the same thing in rocket fuels and explosives. These chemicals are filtered out. Then benzene is added. You'll love this. Ready for what benzene is? Gasoline.
Nice.
They're distilled and centrifuged, then nickel and caustic bleach is added. Now, I'll tell you, I love bleach.
Are these the chewable vitamin C's you're talking about?
Chewable and what they take, chewable or pills. Oh. That's how, if it says the word ascorbic acid on it, watch out. That's what this stuff is made for. Oh. And, you know, even bleach, I love it. It's good for my tidy-whities, but it's not so good for inside your body. And the last thing he told me was toluene is added, and that's used in glues and paints. And I'm thinking, no wonder this stuff can damage your cells. Look how it's created. It's dangerous chemicals, toxic. Benzene is listed on the EDA's most toxic chemicals you can put in your body.
And, you know, because I'm an exercise physiologist, Dr. Friedman, I see a lot of people with joint problems, arthritis, and sports injury. You're telling me also that synthetic nutrients can block a person's ability to move their joints around. They can get stored in the person's joints.
Exactly. My view is this: our body wasn't created in a lab. Why would we think our nutrition should be?
Well, that's certainly a great way to put it. Now, what about whole food nutrition? If we want to think about getting ourselves healthier, what is whole food nutrition?
Whole food basically would be from fruits and vegetables. You know, for example, you know, if you look at vitamin E, vitamin E has been showed to be dangerous, and it should be avoided. According to researchers from Johns Hopkins Medical Institute, they did extensive research. They found daily doses of 400 international units and above. That's the amount you'll typically find in vitamin E capsules. Increase the risk of dying from all causes. Dying. 39 additional deaths per 10,000 people compared to those who did not take the supplement. Now, am I saying vitamin E is bad for us? No, vitamin E is great for you, but you know we need to get it from nature, from almonds, peanut butter, avocados, spinach, broccoli, asparagus. Those are the good
You're making me
E.
hungry, Dr. Friedman. Those are all great foods. And you know what else that I remember you had told me was that your Chews for Health have folic acid. Now, isn't that so important for us, for women? It's really important for everybody, but for women and pregnant women?
Especially women. Actually, the March of Dimes says any female from 15 to 45 must supplement your diet with folic acid because you don't get it from the diet. So it's crucial. And, of course, as you mentioned, for pregnancy, you need to take it, and that helps prevent birth defects. So folic acid is definitely a nutrient all females need to take.
Now, do we know the amounts that are in our chews of folic acid?
Yes, we do know the amounts. It's the exact amount that is required by OBGYNs for pregnant patients. And in fact, that's why I wanted it to have the exact ratio. Also, it's got B12, which is a good combination of ingredient.
Oh, we can think clearer.
B12 is great for not just thinking. Endurance, stamina, athletes take it. It's great stuff.
It is great stuff. And when we come back, I'm so happy to be with Dr. Friedman. When we come back, Dr. Friedman, we are going to have on our show a guest, and I understand you know him. It's Kevin McCullough. And we're going to be talking about breast cancer and how it has touched his life and how he's on a mission to try and cure breast cancer. And we're going to learn all about him and his partner, Stephen Baldwin, and I think it should be so interesting, and I really love talking about all the synthetic nutrients. And so don't go anywhere, listeners. You're listening to Your Good Health with Dr. David Friedman. We'll be back in just a minute. I'm Melanie Cole.